In commercial real estate, there's this ticking time bomb that's kind of hidden in plain sight. It's the gap between what a tenant's lease says their insurance needs to cover and what that policy actually covers. So today, we're going to break down exactly how to diffuse that bomb.
We've all done it, right? You get a tenant's insurance certificate, the COI, you scan it, you file it, and you just move on with your day. But what if I told you that quick glance could end up costing you, literally, millions of dollars? Because let's be honest, in almost every single case, it's nowhere near enough.
Okay, so the root of this whole problem is something we can call the compliance mess. And it's not really about anyone being negligent, it's about this fundamental and frankly dangerous disconnect between two of the most critical documents you rely on every single day. I want you to think about it like this. Your lease agreement? That's like a super detailed architectural blueprint. Every little specification is laid out with total precision. We're talking exact coverage types, limits, and all those special additions they call endorsements. But the insurance certificate you got back? Well, that's often just a sketch on a napkin. It's a vague summary that leaves out all the details that actually matter. And this disconnect, it forces your team into this messy, inconsistent, and, let's face it, totally unreliable review process. It becomes this mountain of manual cross-checking that, our brains just aren't wired for. It's tedious, it's exhausting, and it's exactly where human error loves to creep in, leading to a whole lot of really dangerous guesswork. But here's the thing. This isn't just about messy paperwork or some administrative headache. When these little gaps go unnoticed, they can have absolutely devastating financial consequences. This is where that ticking time bomb really starts to get loud. A single missed endorsement, which is just a fancy word for a specific change to a policy, or maybe a liability limit that's just a little bit off, these aren't just clerical errors. Nope, they are active, unmitigated risks just hiding out in your portfolio. And here's exactly how it plays out, almost every time. A tiny little oversight slips through during a manual review. Months, maybe a year later, a major incident happens on the property. And then you get that phone call you never, ever want to get. Your $1 million+ claim has been denied. All because of a tiny gap you never even knew was there. So, how do we break this chain reaction, right? How do you finally bridge that dangerous gap between the detailed blueprint of the lease and that vague napkin sketch of the COI? How do we move from costly guesswork to absolute certainty? Well, this is where LeaseCOI GapCheck comes in. Now, this isn't just another document tool. It's a purpose-built solution designed specifically to automate that painstaking comparison between what the lease requires and the actual evidence on the COI. The whole philosophy here is about a fundamental shift in your mindset. You stop being reactive, finding out about a problem only after a disaster strikes, and you become proactive. You catch and you fix these compliance gaps long before they ever have a chance to blow up. And the real power of a tool like this is in its simplicity and its speed. It's designed to turn a super complex, high-risk manual task into a fast, reliable, and honestly, a stress-free workflow. It's an incredibly simple 4-step process. All you do is upload the lease and the COI. The AI instantly gets to work, pulling out all the critical data points. Then it runs this deep, structured comparison, and then boom, in just minutes, you have a detailed, actionable report right in your hands. This means it is the end of those manual scavenger hunts. Seriously, no more flipping back and forth between two giant PDF files, no more squinting at the fine print, and absolutely no more of that soul-crushing data entry into some spreadsheet. The system does all that heavy lifting for you. So, what does this final gap report actually look like? Well, it's designed for 3 things and 3 things only: to give you hard evidence, to deliver total clarity, and to empower you to take immediate action. Right at the very top, you get one single powerful number, a compliance percentage. This is your 30,000-foot view, an instant scorecard that tells you exactly how that tenant's insurance stacks up against what their lease demands. But the real power is in the details, right below that score. The report breaks down every single potential issue. It flags missing coverages, it highlights insufficient policy limits, it points out every single required endorsement that's not evidenced, and it gives you a crystal clear pass or fail for each line item. And this is what we call evidence-first reporting. For every single finding, especially for a failure, you see precisely why. It puts the exact lease citation, the demand, right next to the COI evidence, or as you see here, the lack of evidence. There's no black box, just pure, simple facts. This side-by-side comparison just completely eliminates all the ambiguity and guesswork. You're not just told there's a problem, you are shown exactly what the problem is. And that gives you a clear and really an undeniable path to getting it resolved with a tenant or their broker. And the report is built for action. Right from the findings, you can get AI-driven advice on how to fix the gap, you can export the report to share with your team, or you can even generate a pre-populated email to the insurance broker that details exactly what needs to be fixed. It just closes the loop fast.
So by automating and standardizing this review, you really transform the entire process from something that's subjective and risky, just pure guesswork, into an objective, evidence-based workflow that actually protects your assets. So I'll just leave you with this question. Looking at your current process, how confident are you, really? And how much hidden risk are you willing to tolerate in your portfolio?